Hold on to your hats, a new internet's on the way, one that promises to be fast and wireless. And with all the rapid changes happening, there's some incredible opportunities that are opening up. Joining us now with more is Louis Vieira. He's president of Fusion Interactive. And Louis, you've got some very cool things that you've decided to include some students in. Perhaps you can give us an elaboration on that today.
Sure. Actually, Fusion, we've been around since '93, exploring the internet space, developing websites and e-businesses for companies. And right now, I think the big hype, and I'm sure you've heard about it, and most people have heard that this wireless, the wireless business, cell phones, internet on your cell phone, that's going to take over where the internet left off in terms of opportunities from a lot of people's perspectives. And the way we were looking at it is, I don't really think anybody out there knows where this is going, the same way that no one knew where the internet was going to go and how exciting it was going to be. So we decided to get an unbiased opinion and then roll out a competition to students, Canadian students, industrial design students actually, and have them explore the possibilities that this wireless network could create. We wanted them to take a look at how people work, how they play, how they entertain themselves and how they learn, and come up with ideas on how you can take the idea of this broadband wireless network that's going to be available anywhere on the planet, how that's going to affect people's lives on a day-to-day basis.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that it's going to be broadband and wireless, because there are so many people that have yet to even embark onto the broadband adventure. Most everybody has a wireless tool at this particular point, but how long until we have both?
Well, the current estimate is about 3 years out that this bandwidth will exist, which is technically it's about 2 megabits per second, which essentially is video. You're going to see streaming video on your cell phone. So the Star Trek ideal of looking at your watch and seeing a video of someone that you're talking to is within the realm of possibility. Right. It might not happen that quickly. A lot of it has to be driven by the consumers themselves, by people actually going out and purchasing products or applications and paying for the minutes through a Bell Mobility or a Rogers. That'll drive the demand for people to actually create these applications, which right now it doesn't really exist. It's coming.
So it makes sense then that you would approach the students, because it's surely their generation that would tap into that technology first, being that they kind of grew up with the internet. Absolutely. The new internet is absolutely theirs, therefore they get the opportunity to help create it themselves.
Definitely, and it's an unbiased perspective as well. They're not hindered by their boss or the particular company that they work for. So the students have the ability to explore and go off on tangents, and the risk of making a mistake just it isn't as serious as it is for you or I in our jobs on a day-to-day basis. So it was interesting from that perspective, and the sponsors that we brought to the table also gained a lot from that.
All right, who are some of the sponsors that you brought on board, and what are some of the ideas that they were able to garner from it?
Well, Bell Mobility jumped on it fairly shortly. They're obviously an innovative Canadian company, and Research in Motion, RIM. They're also in, and they're quite interested in what's happening. And I think they didn't expect the feedback from the students to be as powerful as it was from their perspective. They would walk in to the work, and while we were doing this, this is still ongoing, they would walk into these working sessions with the students, and they weren't expecting to walk out of there as charged up as they were by hearing all these ideas and actually innovating on the fly the way it was happening.
Well, you got to love it. I mean, obviously, that's what young people do, and oftentimes, as we grow up, we tend to lose that ability. So it's wonderful that they get the opportunity to foster it. But at the same time, they're also giving some great ideas to some major corporations. Definitely. Are they getting anything in return apart from the opportunity to play? Ah,
okay. Well, they do get something in return. They get the hands-on, real. The criticism of the marketplace, because they're talking, instead of this being a project that's just created internally, this is about tangible marketplaces. So they do get the value from the learning. The sponsors themselves, they own the actual intellectual property. The students do get a credit, of course. But it's open for everybody. It's not about exploitation of students at all. It's about the sponsors. All of the sponsors equally have the right to the intellectual property. So if they see something that they want to jump on, they're welcome to. The only thing we ask is that the students get fair credit and a notice, and it works in their portfolio. It's a good long-term proposition for the students as well.
So when does the competition end, and if there is one or more winners, Do they get anything tangible apart from credit? Do they get some sort of a
absolutely.
job offer or something?
Well, that's hopefully part of it.
Right.
It's bringing to the attention of Canadian companies what the value of an industrial designer is in this society, and also having a cash prize for the students as well to help them pay for their college bills is a good thing. And it's a non-profit thing that we're running here. It's about all the money gets distributed to the students. We're also creating a scholarship for young Canadian innovators that we'd like to give out to people with some fresh ideas and some fresh perspectives, hoping that they'll. It's about creating a competitive economy. We're actually.
Yes, I didn't want to cut you off.
March 29th is when we're rolling this out publicly. We're going to be having an open house, and we're hoping actually Brian Tobin, the Minister of Industry, has expressed interest in showing up, so we're hoping that he'll be there, as well as industry leaders and hopefully the media as well.
Well, thank you, Louis. You've obviously made your case, and since we're live on TV here, I know that people are listening and watching. Thank you very much.
Thank you.